Episode 43, Suds to Success podcast. We got the Dustin Jackson. That's right. IGL Coatings, tons of different businesses, super down to earth guy. We go in tons of things about businesses, tips, tricks, even a little bit of honesty about work life balance. Let's get into the episode. Welcome to the 43rd episode of Suds to Success podcast. My name's Andrew.
And I'm Rajon.
And that's
Dustin Jackson.
There you go. The Dustin Jackson.
That's
And today
right.
we're going to be talking about tons of information. Dustin, all of his kind of his ventures and kind of how he ended up in the industry. But first, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. We're on all short form content. We're on Instagram, YouTube Short, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're on everywhere. So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe and comment and all that fun stuff. Our website is suds2successpodcast.com. This week we had a ton more recommended software. So if you're looking to use different softwares for your business, those are all on the page. And let's kind of get in with the show. So Dustin, kind of introduce yourself, who you are, what you're all about, and then I think we'll just kind of let it rip and see where it goes.
Yeah, so I'm the Dustin Jackson. All jokes aside, Dustin Jackson, like the tagline said, master of none. Listen, I am a serial entrepreneur at heart. You can see back here, right? I'll say it says a business license. And I got that when I was 14 years old. I'm 41 years old, and I've never taken a paycheck from anyone else other than myself. So when I tell you entrepreneurs in my blood, that's kind of who I am. Been detailing for the last going on 13 years, so 12 plus years, and built my detailing business from one person, under a carport, like most of us do, owner operator, all the way up to, now I think there's 14 full-time detailers, shop manager, sales manager, and then there's about 80 employees globally with the surrounding companies. But it all started back from the detail shop. That's what kind of got me going down this path. Most people probably know me from Detail Bookie. I built that software. So I built that software to solve a problem in my shop as we were scaling and growing. We needed a way to manage pricing and schedules and customer communication, all the things that everybody lacks when they're growing a business. So we built the software to solve that problem. It went great. We started selling it to other detailers. And I just was fortunate enough to sell that company to some good friends of mine in January. And now I'm the owner of IGL Coatings USA, owner and partner with Mike Carlin, IGL Coatings USA, and then also Apex Films USA. So we distribute products all over the United States, Costa Rica, Mexico, Dominican Republic, and surrounding areas. So got a lot going on, and there's a host of other things alongside of that, but we'll keep it relevant to you guys' podcast. So that's what's relevant in the detail world.
So you're a busy man.
Yeah. I was on the phone a while ago, and I was talking to a friend of mine. He said, "Well, how's it going?" I said, "Well, today, I won't speak to any other day. Today, it's organized chaos. It all seemed to click. Now tomorrow, the wheels will come off, and it'll be whack-a-mole firefighting at its best. But today was organized chaos."
That's pretty cool. How do you manage all your time?
Google Calendar is my best friend. Task list, Contrello board. I live by it. I have an amazing assistant. It wouldn't be fair if I didn't mention her, Vanessa. She is amazing. She's my right-hand man per se. And she keeps me in order, but I live by my Google Calendar. There was a time in my life where I didn't. I'm a very structured person. I like things to happen, like clockwork. And if I'm ever off that schedule, I'm really a cluster. So Google Calendar is my best friend. I section off my days and the time that I work on certain things for myself and the meeting times that I allow people to schedule meetings for. And that's how I do it effectively. And, how I manage. So I own 11 companies altogether. And I manage that through a series of KPIs, and then of course, good managers that run the companies. But it's very structured, very, very structured.
What kind of industries are you in other than automotive?
Yeah. So I own storage facilities, climate controlled and boat and RV storage facilities. I own retail stores. So I have 3 brick and mortar stores, an e-com platform, And that same company travels and does events all over the Southeast. I own another software company. It's a CRM. So I sold Detail Booking, which was a scheduling software. This is a CRM for mass text, email, and stuff. A marketing company where we do typical, like you would see anybody managing Facebook ads, social media, SEO, that kind of stuff, build websites, graphic design, copywriting. I own Coastal Angler magazine. Got one on my desk right here. It just came out. So magazines all over the Gulf Coast. A boat show on the bay. I own a boat show. Oddly enough, I own a boat show. I don't even. I know why, but it's kind of here we are. Yeah, go ahead.
You're literally a guy that when you have a problem in one of your businesses, you start a new one.
Yeah.
I started a print shop a month ago. A print shop. We actually, so I left. I didn't even think because it has a name, but it's not even formalized yet. We have a print shop in one of my warehouses now with all the equipment to print our shirts, our hats, our banners, all the signage we need. Because we were sending so much stuff to the print shop that didn't meet our needs. We just said, you know what, we bring it in house, and now we're printing, and now we're selling it to other people around. So yes, you're right.
Holy.
Yeah.
So you're
crazy.
more you're an airplane and figures out how to open the parachute on the way down, or are you someone who's like, when you have an idea, you're fully like, you kind of think about it and wrap your head around and then do it?
Great question. I'm more like figure it out on the way down. I do a lot of thinking though ahead of time. So I'll work through a deal in my head and kind of have a really good understanding of how it works, and then kind of then make the deal and figure out the rest on the way down. So it's a kind of combination of the two. And the size depends on the size of the deal too. You know what we have going on. Hopefully, there's a little bit of a lag, so hopefully I'm coming through okay.
We're just going to kind of cut into this. We had technical difficulties. We're just going to kind of resume the show and let it rip. And by technical difficulties, I mean me. So we were kind of talking about how you had a print shop and you kind of are into everything. So I guess my next question, unless Urjan has one, would be, why did you get into detailing?
Oh, that's a really good question. So I had owned a software company prior to detailing. I had been in construction, building houses in 2008 when the market crashed, kind of forced out of building houses, and built a software for an unrelated industry. Built it from 08 to 14 and sold it off. And I had always detailed my own stuff, just like most other detailers. Like I found like fun and the excitement and gratification in detailing my own stuff. All right. But at that point in my life, I was paying a guy to come by and wash my car, my truck, and to my office. And it was like $35. And I would pay him to come wash it. And I was watching him. I'm like, dude, he's doing this wrong. He needs to offer me a service, a higher end service. I would pay for details. He'd wash it, and I'd go home and detail it, you know? And so I'm like, man, there's a missing link here. And so I started this business. I had a little half-acre lot, and I did storage. And to be quite frank, I wasn't going to offer detailing to the public. I was going to offer it to my storage customers. I had a little half-acre lot that was going to fit like 20 campers and boats on. And I said, well, I'll offer them like exclusive care. Like you can store your camper boat here. When you pull it out, I'll wash it off, clean it up. You take it with you, bring it back. I'll clean it up, put it back up. Kind of VIP service, right? Come to find out, when you own storage businesses, they don't really care to have their stuff touched, or they just want it to leave it there. They don't really care. So that was fine. I drove a sign in the yard, said detailing, and it grew. You start with your friends and family, and you're doing it for a full detail, $75, just like everybody else's was. You get the worst of the worst. You're posting all the before and afters, which gets you even more worse than the worst. And so there was also a huge need in my area for marine detailing. There was no boat detailers around, and I'm a boater. Like I love boating, and so that was my niche at first. So I was doing cars, but boats were my baby. Like I enjoyed it. I loved it. I heavily market it. So I kind of blew up locally on marine detailing because there was just no one else. And you got to understand, I didn't start this detailing business to be the best polisher around. I started this detailing business to build a business. And I had no intent of hanging on to a polisher the rest of my life. And I was worked in the shop for probably 6 or 7 years, and I trained 90% of the people that were in there from nothing to detailers. You know, I didn't hire detailers. I hired people that wanted to work and trained them on how to detail. But I knew very quickly, like my strong suit is running the business, is growing the business, and not being on the polisher. As good, as much fun as I had, and as much as I love that, I was more valuable to the company to grow the business outside of the shop.
So I love watching the one guy on Facebook and Instagram and social media. He goes up to millionaires. Gonna call you a millionaire now. Millionaire. Millionaires, billionaires, whatever it is, successful people, right? And whatever that means to you, he goes up to successful people and he asks them, if you had one piece of advice, what would it be? And we talked kind of a little bit off camera, and I loved your response, so I want everybody to hear it.
Yeah, this is an easy one for me. You know, when I think about business ownership and someone considering, or the one piece of advice I would give is, you literally got to want it more than you want to breathe. And yes, that is Eric Thomas did a really good job of you know, displaying that on YouTube and conveying that. But it's so true. And because it doesn't matter how many businesses you have, how many dollars come in, there's going to be moments in time where more is going out than it's coming in. It's going to happen. Yeah. Seasons, businesses have seasons, economies shift, products change, things, you know, customers' wants and needs, desires change, things happen. It's dynamic, it's fluid. And I can tell you that if you don't want it worse than you want to breathe, then you're going to quit, because there's going to be moments in time where you would roll up in the fetal position and say, man, this is awful. And it's just the way it is. And for me, it was never been an option. It's not like those times for me, as hard as they are, all I want to do is go back to the office and figure out what it is to fix it. Like, that's all I care about. It's not like, man, if I could just go back to that job and get a paycheck, that doesn't exist in my world. It's like, no problem. We have no money. Having no money is no problem. That's just a problem we have to fix. You know, like it's we have to go to work.
Yeah.
So then, so you have the detailing business. How did you end up with IGL?
Great question. So I mentioned Detail Bookie, the software company that I owned. As I was traveling the United States selling software, and I want to tell you this, we literally had to change an industry. So when I built software, there wasn't much software out there. Some people use Google Calendar at its infancy stages. Most people were on Square had a basic user interface, so it was nothing that worked.
Terrible.
Really. It was. So we built Detail Bookie. I built it to solve my problems, and then when I realized how great it was, I said, I've got to get this to market. This was in 2016. I went down to Mobile Tech Expo, which is a detailers convention. You guys may know about it. Anyways, I went down there and I'm talking about software. And as I'm telling detailers, as excited as I am to tell them about this solution that's going to solve all their problems and going to make their, going to make their day so much easier and all this stuff, they're like, man, I just write it on a ticket, man. I just write it on my notepad, or I just text the customer. I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand. This thing's going to solve all your problems. It's going to automate some of these tasks. It's going to streamline your process. It's going to, organize your pricing model and all that stuff. So they didn't get it. And I was speaking in 2017 to a group of about 200 detailers. And I asked the question, I said, how many of you use software in your business? And probably 10 out of the 200 raised their hands. And I'm like, oh man, what a terrible time to build software. Nobody gets it. So I travel the U.S. I go to work. I go typical. Like, what are you going to do? Drown? Yeah, you got to breathe. So we go to work and we travel the U.S. And I commit like 4 years of nothing but explaining to detailers, going and meeting them where they were, of why they needed software in their business to help structure, help put processes in place, help automate some things that they're doing manually or most likely not doing at all. Which is typical customer follow-up, estimate reminders, appointment reminders, or things that we just fall behind on until we get dead or need business. Then it's like all the customers. So I was traveling, and I met the owner, the previous owner of IGL Coatings, Joe LaPalm, at SEMA, and him and I just hit it off. Okay, but for pure transparency, I never used IGL Coatings before I bought the company. I was using another coating that I had built a very strong relationship and had been grandfathered in on pricing that was lower than Joel could meet me at. But they invited me into their trainings. I traveled with the IGL team. I spoke at all of their trainings. They brought me in like family, even though I wasn't even using their products. And we built this family. I mean, we were everywhere together. Mike Carlin, they hired Mike Carlin. He's now my partner. But me and him became really good friends throughout all that. We ran together. We worked out together. I mean, we did the things while we were traveling. And so like all things happen, he's working for them. We're running, and he's complaining about things they should do different. And I'm like, yeah, we should just buy the company, like joking about this thing, like complete joking, like had no intent to buy IGL Coatings, wasn't for sale, wasn't ever a thought, But the more we did this, the more the more that conversation got brought up. Okay. Between just him and I, we never spoke it to anybody else. Well, in January of 2023, Joel made mention to my dad, which had traveled down to Mobile Tech, that he was going to bring it up to myself and Mike to buy the company. And I thought, okay, like he didn't mention it to me. My dad kind of told me off the record, so I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything to Mike either. And I get a call like a month later where Joel's like, hey, man, Jeff and I, his partner, are kind of aging out. We're ready to do some different things. We're ready to retire. Would you be interested? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely, I would. And he said, okay, well, I'm going to call Mike. I said, the only way I'll buy this is Mike Carlin will partner with me. He's like, okay, great, I'll call Mike. I'm like, no, I'll call Mike. And so I call Mike up. Mike's like, bro, I don't know how we're going to do it, but let's go. And so that's that, man. He was always super passionate about IGL. I mean, he left a corporate job. He owned a detail shop for the last 20 years. He was an absentee owner, though. He worked a corporate job too, where he managed hundreds of people. And he left that job in 22 to take a job at IGL Coatings, just as like a leap of faith. Believed that IGL was doing big things, knew they were doing big things, took a pay cut, significant pay cut, but went to work for him as a sales rep and kind of worked his way up to GM. And now, fast forward to now, like him and I are partners, and yeah, that's it.
Damn, that's a story.
It is, and there's a lot of those drowning moments in the middle of that too. I mean,
yeah, of course.
Look, you got to understand. I mean, IGL Coatings is a company running 50,000 miles an hour. They got 8,000 installers or 7,000 installers when we bought it. Products coming. Our manufacturing facilities in Malaysia. We got containers at sea all the time. Sometimes 2 to 3 containers. Lots of moving parts. So this is a big company. And here's Mike Carlin and I, like, what are we going to do? I don't even know how we would buy this. Like, what do we do? And so we went to work. But the thing about Joel and Jeff, the previous owners, is they wanted us to buy it as bad as we wanted to buy it. Yeah. And when you have a deal where both people are looking for the same result, you can get creative on the terms, and that's what we did. I mean, we pieced together and mortgaged the houses and put all the land up and emptied the checking accounts and then borrowed and lied and stole. Not really, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Literally, all in. The term all in, we're all in.
Yeah.
And then, so you got A-Peaks, you said around 23, 24, right?
Yeah, we picked up IGL.
No, IGL, I mean.
So we picked up A-Peaks this time last year.
Yeah, so you're not just all in, now you're really all in. Because now you just added a whole...
Yeah. We doubled. Well, when you're all in, what's a little more? Yeah. It's kind of like when you got like 5 or 6 kids and they're like, what's one more? Well, there you go. And so, but here's why. Joel, the previous owner, decided to come out of retirement unexpectedly and dive off in this new venture. And he approached us. I mean, he had been telling us about something in the works. He approached us at SEMA last year and he's like, guys, I want to do this, but I want you guys to run the United States. I'm going to help make that happen. And if Papa Joel says so, that's what we do. And that's what we did. So
it's funny. Paulo in Canada is the exact same opinion. When Papa Joel says something, you jump.
You do.
Yeah.
I mean, his track record proves so. And here's why. Joel's willing to go bat with you. Like he's not like, hey, do this deal. You're gonna like his desire for your success equals what what your desire is. So like there's never a doubt where like he's gonna help you. He's gonna make sure this thing works. He's not gonna put his cards in wrong. And he's a mentor. He's a very, very good friend of mine. And yeah, man, if he says it, we do it.
So let's talk about APEX Films a little bit. We got into IGL. What about APEX Film? How do you find? Because I know it's a brand new company. We're APEX installers in Canada, so I mean, how do you? Since it's a new company, do you feel struggles with that? Because like you're building a whole, like it's not just you're selling product like the IGL where it's developed. I would say this is kind of like you're reinventing the wheel.
It took me back to detail bookie days. It literally, I thought I was done with that in my life. And then we inherited some struggles that Global had in the U.S. market. They were trying to push the product themselves. And they, trying to run things, across the sea. And they just, they didn't have it all together as they should. And so we inherited all those issues, problems, and it is what it is. So we spent the first 9 months or 8 months just one thing after the other, staffing people, training, all that stuff that they had kind of accumulated. We had to clean out. I mean, they had rented a facility down in South Florida. They had a lot of stuff that we had to just clean up. So alongside of that, we had to get a new product to market. We had to get people to want to use this new product. The benefit that we have is Easy In, which is my detailing operation that's still running very strong. I was already in the market to bring on PPF and tint. Like I was already chasing that game. And so I had talked to a lot of film companies, and I pressed pause on that while Joel kind of made this deal happen. So we have the benefit of a detail shop that's now making this transition from detailing into PPF and tint. So we have a real life like kind of trial period to show detailers how to get it. So our perspective on this APEX thing is, we're not trying to flip all these, film installers that are installing, for these big companies or buying from these big companies. Our objective is to help detailers that are already detailing add this service into their shop. And so helping them bridge that gap, because I know that I put it off for years because of the cost, the investment, the training, the transition, what I needed in my shop to look like. And like, there was a lot of stuff there that kept me from doing that. And had I had someone like us now to say, hey, you can do pillars and door cups and door edges and things like that and learn the business without buying plotters and $10,000 worth of film to burn up, I would have done it a lot sooner. So
the only reason why we started tint this spring is I had Paulo on. Urjan was sick, so I asked Paulo to jump on because we do business with Paulo.
Yeah,
and
great
he just
guy.
looks and
Love him.
yeah,
Love him.
and he just looks and he goes, why don't you do tint? I go, man, why the I want to do tint? I'm like, I don't want to be. I got to worry about dust. Like he goes, dude, you have to do it. And he has it in that accent. I don't know what he mesmerized me on that episode, but he did.
Yeah.
And I call Bergeron. I'm like, we're doing tint. He's like, okay, when? I'm like, we're doing it. Like it's happening. Then, so fast forward, we start doing tint. Then he calls and he goes, I said, we got to figure out this PPF thing, because I'm like, the tint's great. I don't like tinting. It's it creases easily. Like it's more of a pain. I don't want to get rich doing tint. I won't. But I said PPF, we could make a lot of money doing PPF. I go, we already have a plotter. Like I already have it planned out. We're ready. And he goes, all right, let's do it. So we started training for PPF. And where I see it's exactly what you just said is in the beginning, I just have some dealership accounts. And the second I walked in, so we can put these on your door cups, edges of the doors, by the trunk there, your door jams. Like, it's easy because they can see it. For me to sell a coating to a dealership, I give them a demo hood and they can put water. Like, oh, it beads.
Exactly.
But when I can show them a demo hood now that's half PPF, half coating, they're like, oh, feel this PPF. Oh, look at the code. It's like a cheat code. And people ask for it. I'm like, we haven't really we literally did it like 3 weeks ago. So we haven't really got full in my business. We haven't really got full into like upselling our coating customers yet. But like, I'm see it, right? It's like I'm customers coming in and I'm looking like, why didn't I sell the door cup?
So
scratched.
You were spot on, and watch how fast it actually happens. Like, so it happened too fast for us, and we were committing to jobs that were a little out of our skill set. We started with door cups, and we're like, just bring us in a front, we'll do that. And oh man, like we learned a lot, very expensive learning curve. But it is so much easier to sell. Like it's an easier sell than you think. If you've sold coatings, you can absolutely sell PPF. And we want to minimize that learning curve, start small, bring it in, even your mobile detailers, so things like, pillars and door cups and stuff like that. You can do those on the road. Like that's very simple stuff that can be done with very, and increase those ticket prices. I think, the industry and detailing industry, it's starting to see a retraction because coatings we've kind of squeezed that sponge. All right. And so detailers, if you're relying solely on that, then you're going to see a leveling off. Like we're not going to see the growth that we've seen over the years at just coatings alone. I know that I run a shop. I know, and by owning software, I saw a lot of shops and a lot of information. And you could see it just kind of planing off a little bit. And so to add a new service is tint and film. That's going to be the way to keep growing your detailing business, because that also allows you to get and I don't want this to sound as like a money chase, but every dollar out of a customer. So every opportunity that comes in the door, you should be trying to squeeze it as hard as you can. And that allows for that.
And how I see it too is we kick coatings. Like we're known as the shop, and it's like we already have the systems in place. We already have the customer service in place. We're already good at dealing with, there's something wrong. Okay, this is how we're going to handle this. We already have all that. So once I started moving into tint, I had tint shops call me like, hey, we saw on your website that you're offering tint. Like you're not doing it right. It's like they hear us in like detail, like, oh yeah, we're doing this. Oh, like you're not gonna like send people to us somewhere? No, sorry.
No.
Oh. And what I really found, because when I kind of pulled into detailing locally, is people sucked. Like your stories of no one had software, that was a thing. Like that was not just you saying that.
Still is for us.
It still is. Like, we're running software, and like you'll talk to their detailers and like, how do you like do online booking? I'm like, you have software.
It's mind blowing. Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about? So then when we start moving these other industries, these shops start reaching out and be like, hey, don't come over here, because now like they're worried because they don't have any of this stuff. And like the other thing too is, because I had a customer ask me, they're like, are you scared like moving into these new industries? So we did tint and PPF this year. I'm like, no. I go, because most of the, you get pissed off. Like I had a car tinting and whatever. It's just wasn't good. Like you get mad. It feels like when you had those for it.
No, go ahead. Yeah, I'm saying we've been.
It reminds me of like when I first started coating, I had a brand, and like you had to put the coating in a freezer to do it every like rim or something, and you're just mad and you're yelling and like you're just upset. That's how I felt with tinting, and it really humbled me very quickly. Where I'm like, I ain't tinting, but I'm good at detailing. And same with my staff, like they'll get mad. So I'm like, well, the main thing is what I learned is it's not about the work you do, it's the support you give. So
absolutely.
As long as you're honest with people and you're like, okay, I'm learning, they don't care. Oh, I'll call them like, oh, do you know anything? Yeah, there's this. I'll come right in and rip it off, put a new one on. No, you don't take it off. I just wanted to tell you. I'm like,
that experience is 100% the same experience that we see at Easy. And like we overserve. So like we're so transparent. Like, hey, we're new to this. You don't like it, bring it in. We're going to fix it, and we do that with a smile. You know what I mean? And it's like, because we know that we're learning along the way, and we've got to go through this hardship. We did with ceramics. I mean, like those hard installs, and I can't tell you the painstaking learning process of that. And now we do it blindfolded in our sleep. And I think my poor shop guys feel like they're idiots. They're over there like with tint, and it's like they're trying to do everything left-handed. Like they just don't get it. And but they're learning every day, and we got tint pretty much nailed down, and PPF we got a little ways to go. We got one in the shop right now. Apparently, it's like the hardest. It's the hardest hood. I'll tell you, it's a Porsche. It's got the clamshell hood on it. Apparently, that's like the hardest hood in the world to do. And we are seeing that firsthand. My guys are like, "Oh, we don't even know what to do, man."
So if you have a lot of businesses and ran a lot and talked to a lot of people, obviously you said customer service is one of those things that you strive for in every business. For someone out there who doesn't really focus on that, because for the beginning of this year, Andrew was always telling me, focus on the customer experience. I was like, yeah, whatever. Like the customer can do whatever they want. Now it's like, I really, really honestly found the way I deal with customers now has drastically improved. And every customer has either left happy or in a better mood or whatever, just super ecstatic to work with us. Right. And right now, like honestly, most of our jobs that we have right now is repeat customers.
So
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to give you the behind the scenes. Is this going to be on camera? Like, will people be able to see this? I'll give you a little behind the scenes on something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to turn this camera right here, and you're going to see a mess right here. You see all that mess?
I got to make my that bigger.
What this is this is the customer journey of our detailing operation that I wrote out. And here's why. I'll tell you what it is. Okay, what you just explained is the customer, how you now value kind of the customer relationship, and before you didn't, and you didn't really see the importance of it.
No.
Well, we were a very successful detailing operation, did over $1 million a year in detail. I traveled the world selling detail, traveled the United States selling detail, and also taught the $1 million detail shop. It was a presentation that I did where I would show shops and detailers how to turn into $1 million detail shop. Okay, using EZN as an example. As we approached 22, I believe it was, I noticed our numbers. As I told you, I track KPIs. I noticed our numbers changing. I noticed that our customers weren't coming back as much. I noticed that our income wasn't growing like it should have been. I noticed intricate, like very small changes in our numbers. And I was ahead of it, and I said, we got a problem. So I started to solve this problem. I said, where are we going wrong? Where are we going wrong? What we were was a number-driven company. It's called a number-centric company. Everything I talked about with our team, with our people, with management, whatever, was numbers. Conversion percentage, average ticket price, average time in the shop, whatever, website visits, retention percent, like all those things. What we forgot was people, okay? And so all throughout our customer journey, it was not an interaction. It was a number. It's they drop off, and that's ticket number 1407, and we're doing a standard, like everything, nothing was attached to the customer. And what happened was when economy shift post-COVID and the money started to kind of tighten up a little bit, inflation happened, people start to squeeze on it a little bit. Well, you're the first thing they forget because you didn't build a relationship.
Yes.
So I went into a deep dive, and I said, okay, we're going to solve this problem, and we're going to change from a number-centric company to a people-centric company. And we're going to focus on experience. And I nailed it down to two things. One saying is know their name, know their pain. Okay. And this helps people like me. That's not just a good BSer. I'm very good at talking business and talking numbers with you, but like if I got to BS with you, I'm not going to last very long. Like there's salesmen for that. Okay. I have to understand like the conversation. So if you know somebody's name and you know their pain is why they're there in the first place, right? Mm-hmm. We can speak to that in depth, like why you're here. If dog jumped on the car, now we can talk about, oh man, the scratches, but we can also talk about what kind of dog it is. We can talk about the family, like it leads you into this connective conversation. And that's also easy for me to pass on to my team. So now I'm not saying you just got to build this friendship with them. No, all you got to do is know their name and know why they're here. Once you establish that, now you can talk to them about something and we can reference it throughout the whole job. We're going to reference it in our messaging. We're going to reference it in pickup. We're going to reference it when we call them and check on them later. All these things are connected to that one simple thing, and all it is a connection. And next time they think about not spending that dollar, they're going to remember the relationship we have versus just the interaction.
Yeah.
So, and I redid. Okay, so in lieu of that, I redid the $1 million detail shop presentation, and I'll be giving it at Mobile Tech. And now it's called "What the $1 Million Detail Shop Got Wrong." That's the name of the presentation.
Oh, damn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have a point though, and that's another thing where software comes into play. Is what you can literally write a note: dog's name, wife's name, other cars, whatever, daughter, like whatever you want to write in there. And it really, to me, it made, like, I had one of the stories I had last year where I had a customer and he brought this beaten up Toyota. And like, I didn't know, he was a nice guy, seemed like he had money, but he always kept bringing this stupid Toyota. And I'm like, I don't know. So I talked to him and he goes, do you ceramic coat Ferraris? Like, yeah. He goes,
Sure.
Okay, I'll bring it in the spring. All right. CRM, reach out April 1st.
Yes.
Blah, 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 blah. Call him up. Hey, it's Andrew from hey, Andrew, how's it going? I'm reaching out about your Ferrari. You wanted it done in the spring? Holy remember that? He goes, done. I go, what do you want? Most expensive thing you got. Like, that's what I mean. Like, the technology that you can use. And like, you have no reason now. And they're really, like, to me, it's affordable. Like, I mean, it's not like back in the day where some stuff is expensive. It's all affordable. Like, you're kind of, yeah. You're losing money not doing it.
So it's so funny you said that, because when I pitched software for the first 4 years, it was all about automate everything, pull. Like, you got to understand, like, I was the software guy that said you need to replace everything with software, and you need to drive your people to online booking, and you need to automate the conversations, and we need to streamline. And then I take a step back from that, and I say, hang on, we got that wrong too. Software's place in this is a tool, just like your polisher. It's not going to do the entire job. It's going to do a piece of the job. But you cannot take the human element out of it. But a human element, we don't buff cars by hand anymore, right? We got a polisher for that. Yeah. So we don't have to remember birthdays and dogs' names and things, because we have a tool for that. Yeah. And we can use that and utilize that. We don't have to remember every estimate that didn't convert last month, because we have a tool for that. And now it can trigger us. It can tell us to, hey, maybe make a phone call. Or it can send an automated text or email. But it's going to make you a better business owner. At the end of it.
I have a question. So I realized once you said you had an assistant and whatever, and she booked it and whatever, at what point in your entrepreneurial journey did you realize you needed an assistant, and why?
Way too late. Way too late. I'm very humble and frugal in that sense. So, like, for me to have an assistant, like, I know my name's the Dustin Jackson, but like I told you guys, I'm not that good. I promise I'm not. And so, like, for me to have an assistant, I'm like, there's better use of my money within the company besides Dustin, a personal assistant. What I failed to realize is the time that it buys me back is worth 10 times what I pay her. I hope she don't see this. No, but I'm serious. Like, the time that it buys me back. So, I realized it too late. I could have used it sooner. Just like everybody else, like, that's probably one of the last things we think about. But I can tell you that when I started dropping the ball a lot, when I was missing meetings or late to things or doing things that were not common for me, I knew that I had to do something, and that told me that. But I would think that you need to look into that sooner rather than later, if you're in the position where you're having to manage a very dynamic schedule and things. And look, it doesn't have to be an assistant. Like, we had an admin assistant for years here in the back office, and that kind of assisted everybody. And so, like, that dual role of, kind of works for everybody, but does all the little things is big time needed. So, so my moment of realization was way too late.
And what kind of tasks are you giving her?
Oh man, it's grown. So at first it started with emails, so emails and calendar management. So managing my meetings, making sure people are going to show up, like that call ahead, make sure they're going to be there. Now I have a CRM that I use personally. We have one for all the companies, but I have one personally. So if you call me, unless you're family, you don't have my personal phone line. You have our CRM line, and she monitors that. And so she filters. She knows. I mean, I will watch it after hours or whatever if the phone rings and I feel like it needs to be called. But she monitors all the conversations that go through that. We have internal comments that we can use, and I can jump in and out of conversations as needed through that. If I need a Facebook post made, if I need scheduling a doctor's appointment, like anything you can imagine while I'm in the middle of something or I'm doing something and, I need to do this, she does it. She also sits in she sits in a lot of our meetings. And if I say I'm going to do this, if we're talking about something and say, hey, I'll send you those reports, she already knows that she's doing that and she's already doing that. And so it's very quick and fast. So we can pump stuff out of our office. And that's the only way I could manage everything I do. It's not me. It's our entire team, but she is a key player in that.
Dustin, so you got 11 companies. Some people, honestly, even in our premieres, or like when we premiere the YouTube episode, there's a few people that say, I work 7 days a week. Do you believe in taking days off, taking vacations, limiting your hours per day? Like, what do you do to take care of yourself? You're a busy guy. We get that. But it's like, what do you do to stay afloat? Because I'd be dead.
Who said I wasn't dead?
You're alive and speaking, man.
So I was asked to speak in Nashville at an event maybe 2 or 3 months ago, Conclave of Coatings. And when Barry Phil called me, he said, I want you to speak on work-life balance. And I literally said, the only way I can speak on that is if I stand up and say, you must do the opposite of everything I do to have work-life balance. I am the wrong person. So here's the way I view this. I am not trying to create separation between my work and my life. Okay, so my family, I have a fiance, I have a 6-year-old daughter. That's when she was 1. My family is involved in my work, and my work is involved in my family. We don't have clear separation. I think when you create separation, you create resentment. And if I go home and we're not going to talk about business and we're going to focus on dinner, and there's a detachment level that they don't understand. And then they start to resent this thing when you got to go to it. But if they understand what you're going through and they understand when it's a good time and when it's not a good time, then they're somewhat connected and can help you through that. I don't work around the clock. In the evenings, I do shut it off. And it's conscious. It's extremely conscious because for me, I will keep going and it doesn't bother me. It's conscious that I try to say, okay, at 6 or say probably 7 p.m., not phone off, but phones down in a way. And work is trying to, I'm trying to separate from that. One other thing that helps me with that is my training ritual. So I run a lot, I bike a lot, I swim a lot. So, tying up that time where I'm away from work and that allows me to kind of mentally check out. But and I don't work 7 days a week, church on Sundays. That's Sundays that hasn't always been in my life. And that has turned into a really valuable piece. So it also kind of gets me in the right mind, headspace. But yeah, I would love to tell you guys, no, you got to take this many vacations and this many days off. And I probably should, but I don't.
I figured something in you was I'm going all in, But
yeah,
it's good though that you at least plug out at evening times when you run, you swim, and you bike, and whatever you got to do. That I think was good because frick, Andrew used to yell at me all the time. I'd be 24/7 thinking about work, 7 days a week, work.
Yeah.
And it's he's you're just gonna spin out, and I'm damn, now I am, and now I got 2 days off. And I feel I can, when I come in on Monday, I'm holy, I can do 4 cars by myself, eyes closed.
So, yeah, I do believe you become ineffective when you keep going and keep going. And keep going. I 100% agree with that. And I'm no different. I do get burned out and have to segment, but it's not a structured separation. So
100%. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that
and
makes sense.
I also find everyone's work-life balance is different. Some guys, they can go or girls can go to bed for 3 hours and they perform. Some they need to go to bed for 8 hours. It's more so, I think, finding out what gels with you and what keeps you going, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And by the way, I don't talk about that much because I don't feel like that's a healthy conversation for me to have with other people. Like I don't feel like that's not something I would put on someone else. It's just something that's innate. It's always been that way. My makeup is in my work. Like everything, my pride and like my fun. Like people say, well, what do you do for fun? I used to play golf a little bit. But I'm like, and I go to work. Like that's what I do for fun. Like I don't leave this place. I don't leave this office, go, man, I can't wait to get out of here. I'm like, bro, I'm here. What we do?
You love what you do. You love what you do, and that's a great thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it.
Yeah, your version of fun's opening a print shop.
100%. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
amazing.
All right, are we good? You good, Erjan?
I've learned so much. I don't know. I feel like I'm excited. I don't know.
I'm
I
amped
want
up.
to go to
Yeah.
work tomorrow. I can't wait.
Talk about your book. I saw that you just published this book.
Yeah, so Mike and I, we worked hard with Davey, a good friend of ours, to write the Detailer's Leap. This was the brainchild of Davey, Mike, and us, where we are bridging the gap from detailing to film, and all of our experiences and hardships over the last 12 months of doing this thing. We're like, dude, we need first of all, we want people to understand that it's not impossible, because I think the film companies and the installers have done their best to keep us out of their industry.
Oh my god!
I think they're like the oh, you don't want to do this, or you can't do this, and it's going to cost you this. There's real cost associated with it, but I think we've been scared into existence over there. And so, what I wanted to do was convey that, hey, it's possible. It's not gonna. You don't have to break the bank. You can start. You can tiptoe in. Essentially, we didn't start with coatings. We started with detailing. Right. So, like, you don't have to start with full wraps. We can do the essentials. Like we can do small pieces of film and still be doing film, And so that book was us conveying that in a format. It's like, we wanted you to read it. Like you didn't do so many videos. Like, first of all, nobody does print anymore anyway. And so it's like, it was cool. It was a cool thing for us to do. We can pair it with our trainings that we have coming up, the Detailer's Leap training. So it's more of like a tiptoe in style. And so, yeah, that was, we knocked heads for months about it and put it on paper, and here we are.
And how do we get the book?
Go to detailersleap.com or thedetailersleap.com. You can go to either one. And it's got a book there. I think it's $20. You can go through the webinar, and I think maybe it's free. I don't know all the ins and outs of that, but I know you can go through the webinar, get the book for free. We've given out, we haven't sold a single book. Like, we've given them out. Now, if you want me to ship you one right now, you can go into Detailer's Leap, probably sit through the webinar and get it for free. You may have to pay shipping or something. We've probably, there's probably been over 100 gone out so far. Amazing. And so it's cool, and we try to sign every one of them, and it's easy to read. Like, you could literally read it in like a day. Like, you sit down and just read it cover to cover. And that was what was important to me, was that we have something simple and easy. And it's not like, we're not diving deep into business at all. It's super surface level, where you can casually read it. And when the main objective was that when you get done reading it, it's like, you should want to go install film. And that was it.
Oh, perfect.
Amazing.
We're gonna look into that, because I want to kind of see that, because that's kind of where me and Erjan are right now.
Yeah.
Send me your address. We'll get you a couple of them up. Just message them to me.
Okay, I'll send it to you.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
Dustin, it was a pleasure having you on.
Really?
Me and Erjan, I can speak for myself. I know Erjan feels the same way. Learned, yeah, he's amped up. He's gonna call me after this and go, I gotta install film. Let's open something. So we appreciate you came on. You're able to make the time, and yeah. So we're gonna put all Dustin's information below, where you can reach out to him, different ventures, different stuff. Don't put all that down there. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to them. As always, thanks so much for coming on. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the show. Have a great week.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks for having me.